images that gave fans precedent to mock him when he was seen clinging onto DeMarcus Cousins during a post-game interview.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. What is he? Why? They got the mic all in his face.
Still, they went on to build a strong bond between them.
Why does the NBA hate Drake?
They often say that athletes wish they were musicians and vice versa. But in Drake's case, he simply settled on being the NBA's biggest cheerleader. A lifelong fan of the sport, Drake regularly hits the custom courts he's built in his mansions, showing off considerable skills in the process. At times, he's even decimated fellow rappers on the hardwood.
Drake, you played him in basketball?
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
He whooped my ass, so I ended up losing twice to him.
But y'all wasn't playing one-on-one.
He was playing one-on-one.
And according to some teams,
I mean,
he's even wrecked their chances with his
Where did my face go? I've seen DDG play basketball multiple times. He isn't good at all.
So-called curse, although he claims that it's nothing more than a myth.
The Drake curse is funny to me, honestly. First of all, the Raptors won a championship, so nobody can ever talk to me about the Drake curse. Toronto Raptors are NBA champions, so if there was a Drake curse, Kawhi would have never hit that shot. We would have never beat the Warriors. There is no Drake curse, but it's funny though.
And in a lot of ways, basketball loves him too. Even back in 2018, he had the most NBA players following him on social media, racking up 161 ballers who wanted to keep up with his life. Since then, that number has likely only spiraled. Even if teams have banned some of his softer tracks from the dressing rooms prior to big games.
Or just plays, do you skip it or do you take it out of the playlist?
If it's a bad song, I'll skip it. But if it's one of his hits, I'll play it. If it's one of his soft, R&B songs, we'll skip it because I'm in kill mode right now. I'm trying to get these 4 games, so I'll skip Hotline Bling and anything along that line.
And as the hits kept coming and his position was solidified, he's still getting props from the new generation of stars.
I listen to a lot of Drake. I feel like I grew up in his come up.
But things haven't always gone smoothly for Drizzy when it comes to his relationship with the NBA.
Drizzy is still a crazy nickname. Drizzy?
Not only has he been
Drizmas. Jesus Christ. And why is this nickname the boy?
widely clowned by fans for acting like a proud girlfriend anytime he's near a star player on the court, but his recent high-profile beef has put a strain on some of the relationships he's spent years building with NBA stars. It's your boy Luesta, and this is Drake's love-hate relationship with the NBA. From his courtside clashes and band
BSK, thanks for the follow, bro.
broadcast appearances
How you doing, bro?
to broken friendships with NBA legends. This is the wild story of how Drake went from the league's favorite fanboy to one of its most controversial figures. Basketball has always been a part of Drake's life in one way or another. Even Jimmy Brooks tried out for the Degrassi High basketball team in 8th grade before he wound up in a wheelchair. And to this day, he's still a diehard fan.
This nigga was number 9. You got time for a quick reaction game? I got some heat and I promise it won't miss. I'll react to it after this video, so like in 30 minutes.
Even jumping to the NBA's defense, when Noah Lyles tried to downplay its global impact compared to track and field. He thought this speech was gonna be so hard in the mirror the night before. Along the way, he's become a fan.
Wait, what?
He thought this.
Don't get me wrong, I love the USA at times, but that ain't the world. He continued. That's when Noah Lyles was.
When Noah Lyles tried to downplay its global impact compared to track and field. He thought this speech was gonna
be so hard in the mirror the night before. Now the whole league doesn't rate
be so hard in the mirror the night before. Along the way, he's become a fanatical supporter of certain teams and players. But not all of his run-ins with the NBA's biggest stars have been so smooth.
Bro, what?
Some have gotten a little tense and even confrontational. Considering most of these players dwarf him in stature and strength, some feel that Drake has been walking a fine line for a while now. One of these days, one of those NBA players is gonna punch Drake in the face. Honestly, I wanna see it. However, Drake's need to be in the same rarefied air as basketball stars isn't anything new, nor is it always defined by animosity. At times, it's all about the teams he's devoted to, with his adoration of them even getting them into trouble from time to time. From the outset of his career, Drizzy used his newfound celebrity status to get into the back rooms of some of the most famed organizations, even at a college level. Among the first relationships he established was with the University of Kentucky.
I never understood the super fan ish. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're inviting Drake to the backstage to the locker rooms, but I don't know if he's asking to. If you're asking to go backstage, backcourt. If you're asking to go to the locker rooms, it's kind of weird, bro.
With a newly famous Drake becoming a regular at Wildcat games, spawning those timeless memes of him shooting an air ball.
I mean, the lows were low during the regular season, and I think that battle tested
fucking up their warm-ups.
And the bro thinks he's on the team image. Though his love for the team is a little confusing, especially since he never went to college, let alone Kentucky. Nonetheless, Drake became a major fan of the Big Blue, creating one of the many sports-related images that gave fans precedent to mock him when he was seen clinging onto DeMarcus Cousins during a post-game interview.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. What is he? Why? They got the mic all in his face.
I mean, to be honest, he was a horrible trash talker. I mean, that was the worst job I ever seen in my life.
Still, they went on to build a strong bond between them. Drake even pulled up to give a hype speech when they made the Final Four, even though they ended up losing.
It's your story, man. It's your time. I watched it happen today. It's one of the strongest years we've had, for real. Cal will tell you, man. I know. So, it's your time, man. I'm excited to see the story end because I already know what's on everybody's mind. So,
But even though Kentucky signed off on most of his appearances, there were times where Drake definitely crossed the line trying to rep the team. In 2015, he got hit with a cease and desist after posting a photo with four-star recruit Charles Matthews before the draft. According to a press release published at the time, the reason was that NCAA rules prohibited the institution from arranging contact between him and the PSAs, as this would be an NCAA violation.
Dang.
This prompted them to send a letter to Drake, directing him to refrain from conversations with prospects of taking photos with prospects when that conversation or photo occurs outside the parameters established by the NCAA. Still, it turns out that one warning wasn't enough. A few years later, he did it again, this time with Tyler Ulis, whose post-show photo with Drake allegedly earned him special treatment, with the NCAA claiming that a member of the famous rapper's management team recognized the player and invited him to the back to say hello. The resulting photo was deemed to be a violation, one of half a dozen they racked up in 2015 and 2016. But if you think incidents like this are a testament to how strange and far-reached his ties to basketball are, his NBA relationships have even more twists and turns that range from courtside combativeness to feuds with players over their allegiances and hip-hop beefs. Drake's love for the NBA was never a secret, but one of the first moments that really put it on blast was when he tried to sneak into the Miami Heat locker room after their Game 7 win over the Spurs, only to get denied by security.
Okay, so he's not being invited. He's on some super fan-ish. Bro, you are Drake. Get it together, brother. Golly. Bro got LeBron's... I just remember he has LeBron's face tatted on him. Oh, my gosh. This is like the workings of, like, fatherlessness. And I would know. I ain't never no bull crap like this though. I'm like on the complete other end of this, bro.
No, this is media.
Drake getting turned down. Drake is with us. Did that just happen? Yeah.
And that moment pretty much kicked off his reputation as the NBA's ultimate sideline groupie. But if people were already a little sick of seeing his NBA antics after seeing clips like that, it was about to get a whole lot worse when he became a mainstay at games to the point that he enraged fans who were angered by the amount of screen time he got. This led to a lot of fans pointing out how he's always doing something obnoxious on the sidelines. He just wants attention. Sit down and watch the fucking game like everyone else. Although it feels like he's always been there, Drake's position as a real NBA fixture began when he became an ambassador for the Toronto Raptors in 2013. Brought on to help rebrand the team, Drake treated the role like it mattered just as much as one of his platinum albums. He recalled in an interview that
what is this tie?
Treated the
That nigga definitely dressed himself.
Role like it mattered just as
What
much
the
as
fuck?
one of his platinum
What
albums.
the fuck?
He recalled in an interview that it was one of the best days of his life, suiting up and being officially named the global ambassador of the Toronto Raptors. He spoke proudly about how he always supported the team, shouting out legends like Vince Carter, Damon Stoudemire, and Tracy McGrady as the players who shaped his love for the franchise. Above all, he made it clear that he's a Toronto guy through and through, and that repping his city means everything to him. More than anything, I'm a Toronto guy. I'm a city guy. I care about the city more than anything in the world, Drake said. From then on, Drake became a permanent fixture at Raptors home games. If he wasn't on tour, he would be there rooting for his team, and at times, getting into some very spirited courtside exchanges. But during the Raptors' championship-winning season, things got a little crazy. Among the many players that Drake got on the wrong side of during that season was Giannis Antetokounmpo. During their Eastern Conference games against the Bucks, there proved to be a couple of zesty moments where Drake boldly crossed the line.
Drake enjoying himself, yes.
But no matter how irregular this kind of behavior was, Giannis refused to let his professionalism slip. Instead, he insisted he didn't even pay him any thought.
Cameras caught Giannis telling Drake, "We think to shut the front door," I believe that is what he said. And after the game, there was this exchange with Giannis when he was asked about all the
Oh my gosh.
attention Drake was
Drake and Giannis beefing is like the most like I don't know how to feel about that.
giving him.
I asked Drake if he was bringing the belts to troll you, and he said obviously he was.
Oh, that's good. He cares about me. I really don't. So I'm just here to win games and help my team win. That's all.
But not everyone was willing to brush it off. Giannis' former agent publicly slammed Drake's behavior, calling it a complete violation of the unspoken boundary between players and fans. He even compared it to a concert where a random athlete in VIPs keeps jumping on stage to flex for the cameras. But as many NBA players realized, this was nothing personal on Drake's part. Instead, he was just being an overzealous fan who had smoke for an opposing player over the 4 quarters and nothing more. He even shouted him out years later on Certified Lover Boy's 7 a.m. on Bridal Path, spitting, "Don't move like a puto, could at least keep it a buck like Antetokounmpo." Since then, Giannis gave him props in his own right, being spotted singing his recent hit Nokia after a game.
Is Stacy? Is it Keisha? Is it Tracy? Is it Mariah?
But while Giannis was able to let it go, some ballers have been less willing to let bygones be bygones. Among the other Bucks who wound up in an altercation with Drake was Kendrick Perkins. And while the Giannis thing was one thing, this was a little more combustible.
What? Did he just say the Supersonics?
After this exchange, Drake was issued a warning over his conduct on the sidelines due to his apparent use of foul language. But what he should have done was learn a lesson from it. Because after it all went down, fans couldn't even believe that he had the audacity to step to someone who would very obviously squash him like Perkins. KP would beat the brakes off Drake. Fans will still lose their money betting on Drake. After the fact, Kendrick reflected on what went down, explaining that Drake interjected himself into something that wasn't even directed at him. And much like everyone else, KP felt like this was an ill-advised move from the rapper.
So I was talking to one of my old teammates and good friends in Serge Ibaka, because we all walk out the same way at halftime. And I was just talking noise to Serge saying, "Nah, we got y'all in this one." And he was like, "Nah, Perk, you ain't got us." And then all of a sudden, I just hear his voice behind me like, "Hey, man, shut up and go to the locker room." I turn around and it's Drake, and I'm like, "Man, who you talking to?" Like, Nah, you're not about to talk to me like that, man. I'm a grown man with 4 kids and a wife. I'm not having it. So we started exchanging words at halftime. So he was like, okay, we'll see after the game. And I'm like, all right, we'll see after the game. That's cool. So then we come out at halftime. Throughout the whole game, he keeps staring down there at the bench, talking about some after the game. And I'm like, really, man? So, okay, cool. After the game then. So after the game, I'm walking out, and I walk past him on purpose. And next thing I know, he have like 5 little mini-me bodyguards that's trying to get at me and all this. And I'm like, man, really, man? So it escalated to that. But at the end of the day, we all grown, man.
Although this could have easily turned ugly, other run-ins have been way more playful, like his back and forth with former Kentucky star John Wall. Back when John Wall was suiting up for the Washington Wizards, Drake took some playful jabs at the star point guard during the game.
John, you're getting bodied by 20 tonight. 6 buzz. You're a buck team, IG.
Candidate center with the Wizards trailing the Raptors by 8 with 8:25 remaining here in the second quarter. John Wall and Drake.
But while the press tried to make something of it, John insisted that he wasn't concerned by the trash talk whatsoever and that it was all in good humor.
Hey, John Wall, you looking forward to seeing Drake?
You know I am, for sure. I told him to be here for game 3. He told me he was going to be here, so he didn't show up. He told me we was getting swept. He said he had the broom for us.
What's your reaction? What do you say back to him?
My reaction is we did what we were supposed to. We came home and took care of home court and won 2 games. My arguments with him ain't really about the game of basketball. We just be out there having fun, but at the same time, we have a focus that we're trying to go in there and win game 5. All I wanted them to know that they wasn't going to sweep us.
By now, it should be pretty evident that the two of them are genuine friends rather than foes, and that bond is still going strong today. Recently, John even took up for Drake in an infamous beef that basically no one is of the opinion that he won.
Drake's like a brother to me, you know what I mean? Always been cool with me since UK and stuff, so, you know, I'm always gonna be honest. Whoever wins the battle is winning the battle, but I take Drake in the battle, you know what I mean? And it's not just because he's my brother, I just felt like he had the best bars, you know what I mean? But to each his own, everybody gonna have their own opinion of who they think won.
Amid all these courtside antics that came alongside the Raptors' historic 29 season, a lot of fans wished that Drake would sit down and shut up. But this wasn't a unanimous opinion. For one thing, he was defended by Stephen A. Smith, who believed he had a psychological impact on their opponents.
Does the NBA need to stop Drake's sideline antics?
Absolutely not. Has anybody taken time to recognize that these players actually talk back to Dre? Why? Because he matters. He's not some typical fan. He's Drake.
Does he have a Toronto jersey with Curry name on the back?
He matters.
Bro, they're playing the Raptors. Nah, Drake is a glazer on another level.
He's not some typical fan. He's Drake, damn it. This is the kind of dude they're hanging with in the off season.
Like, what do him mean? What
is he doing that's so egregious? He's jawing at them, they're jawing back. What's the big deal? Do people in power need to have control over every damn thing?
On top of that, it gave fans some hilarious moments, like when a clearly lit Drake lost his mind celebrating after Game 5 against the Bucks, and then tried to talk to the media like he was part of the team.
Don't talk to me, talk to these people. It's about these people right here. It's about these people, it's about the city. Hey, listen, we have the best player, we have the best fans in the whole NBA, in the whole world. Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square, I promise you right now. We did this. Doesn't matter what anybody says. They can say it's disrespectful. They can say it's this and that and that. Everybody's within the rules. Everybody's doing their thing. All we are is proud and passionate. We are like a college sports team. The Toronto Raptors are a college sports team, I promise you. I love Toronto. I love this team, and we're going to the NBA Finals. Let's go!
Even then, his word choice got him clowned a little, while others thought it was fair. Drake says, "We're going like he's on the team, LOL." However, as humorous as all of this was in the lead up to the finals, he still had more chaos to cause, notably in what was a very bold decision to refer to Draymond Green as trash.
You saw some talking there between Drake and Draymond.
But in the same vein as Giannis, Draymond was unmoved by all the posturing and downplayed the whole thing.
Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked. We barked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
Despite all of Golden State's best efforts, Drake's beloved Raptors eventually clinched the title. And to the surprise of no one, this led to more iconic Drink Drizzy moments.
Man, listen, this is poetic. This is poetic. You just gotta watch it happen. The 6 and 6, Kyle Lowry with the ring, Kawhi Leonard bringing it.
Bro acted like he just played the whole game and he just dropped 40. You was sitting on the sideline yelling at Draymond Green.
To the city. I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
For Drake, this was undoubtedly the crowning glory of his time as an NBA ambassador. But when it comes to his time on the fringes of the sport, it's by no means the whole story. Because over the years, he's equally made friends and fallen afoul to legends. And before he knew it, even some of those he saw as close friends would absolutely churn on him when he started a feud with one of LA's greatest. Among the icons of the game that Drake had a complicated relationship with was the late great Kobe Bryant. During Kobe's period of dominance at the Lakers, Drizzy began to make his presence felt courtside, and Drake can even be seen in one of the most legendary photos taken of LeBron and Kobe competing together. And initially, he and the Toronto rapper seemed to be nothing but cool.
Kobe, what's in your iPod, man?
What's in my iPod? Jay, Drake, Lil Wayne. A lot of Drake, though. I like Drake. Yeah, I like Drake, man. Drake doing his thing.
Has penetrated and gotten into the paint rather.
Did your child sustain a birth injury? You may be able to secure financial stability to alleviate ongoing.
There you go, bro.
That's why those.
But the problems between them arose when Drake got a little overzealous in his attempts to take his side during his divorce with Vanessa Bryant. At the height of its time in the news cycle, Drake dissed Bryant's ex-wife on Stay Schemin', spitting, "Kobe about to lose 150 M's. Kobe my guy, I hate that it had to be him. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym." And if you were tapped in at that time, you'll know that line was everywhere. But rather than seeing it as flattering, neither Kobe nor his ex was pleased, which led to Drake to apologize.
I thought they were still together.
And in hindsight, Drizzy can understand why Kobe felt a way about it.
I think it was more like, I think his lady I think the line became so big that I think it became a little annoying to her. I apologized a couple times. I really didn't, I didn't mean to like cause her any harm in life, but you know, sometimes things take on a life of their own.
However, this doesn't mean there weren't any consequences, as when Drake announced the players for the 2016 All-Star Game, every player acknowledged him on their way to the court. As for Kobe, he refused to dap him up even as Drizzy paid homage.
MVP, the league's MVP in 2008, a two-time finals, Kobe Bryant!
While this was a little hostile, it seems like Drake couldn't help but be in awe of Kobe, and after his tragic death in 2020, he later reflected on their relationship, going right back to their first encounter that was facilitated by Lil Wayne.
And I'll never forget, in my life, I was on Lil Wayne's tour bus, I'll never forget. And he told me, he said, man, I got this album coming out, it's called The Carter 3, I want to play it for you. So I'm waiting on the bus, you know, half an hour and a half. This tall figure walks from the bus, right through the doorway of the bus, and it's Kobe Bryant. And that day I got to sit there and I got to listen to The Carter 3 with Kobe and Lil Wayne. Tonight I want to pay all my respects and all my love to you the right way.
But while Kobe seemed to turn sour on him, others have stayed solid like Kevin Durant. Their relationship...
KD. the Slim Burner Reaper.
Dates back to his time at Oklahoma City Thunder.
The burner account reaper.
With Drake shouting him out and accidentally scoring the Raptors a $25,000 fine over anti-tampering rules when he said this at OVO Fest.
My brother Kevin Durant was kind enough to come to the show tonight and watch us. I just wanted to see what would happen if he came to play in Toronto. Let him know what would happen.
The NBA viewed this as a public recruiting pitch to a player under contract with another team, which is considered tampering under league rules. Because Drake was an official team representative, the league fined the Raptors $25,000 for the incident. But while he is a self-professed fan of his, he never allowed that love of his music to overshadow what he was doing on the court. After all, he infamously didn't care about no Drake night.
Yeah, you know, we put a team on the foul line.
And this was Drake night here, and he's the one who just interrupted us. Give me a taste of what the trash talk was like, what the what the interaction was like with your buddy there.
I don't give a damn about no damn Drake night.
And the love remained, with Drake almost reduced to tears in 2019, watching him limp from the court.
There's the play right away. He knew it. You will not see a better sight than we just witnessed. Unfortunately, what happened to Kevin Durant, to Kyle Lowry, Pascal
This
Scott.
nigga's such a fucking fake ass nigga, bro. Bro, it don't take all that, bro.
Serge Ibaka telling the crowd no.
As the years progressed, their bond stayed strong, with KD even
It don't
appearing in
take
the Laugh
all
Now
that.
Cry Later music video to play one-on-one. And as the Kendrick and Drake beef kicked off during 2024, Durant immediately let it be known what side of the fence he was on via his IG story. Following that, he had his back when asked about the beef on Impulsive.
What do you think Drake's gonna do?
I don't know. You never know what he does, bro. He's just one of those stealth, like under the radar dudes that just pop up out of nowhere and just
some crazy shit.
Yeah.
He
also just let some shit ride for 5 or 6 years before he say something. You never know with him. Yeah, but I also feel like he's competitive too, and he likes that little. He likes to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he likes to.
And Katie's ashy, bro. I don't understand this. Multi-millionaire, 7 foot tall, B2B hair and ashiness.
That lyrical sparring session, regardless of who it is, over his whole
Can't
career.
trust niggas like KD,
so
bro.
You never know
I know
what he gonna do with
he might be a millionaire, but I swear he still steals. He just steals like petty shit. Like he'll steal $20 from you just for no reason.
it, man.
He don't even need it.
Make no mistake, Drake has no shortage of friends in the NBA, ranging from Terrence Ross, who used him as a prop in a dunk contest,
He's gonna let Drake throw the pass.
This is gonna tell me a lot about Drake.
That's the language. Ah, there it is.
to Steph Curry, who he's shouted out on tracks and even congratulated him on the Raptors' victory.
Congrats, bro. Thank you, brother. It's tough one. Like, I hate seeing it. Enjoy it, man. It's big time for you, the whole city, the whole everybody. Y'all deserve it, man. Congrats. No, it's love. I'm gonna see you this summer, brother. Bet.
But while these bonds have remained intact, the Kendrick beef has caused many of them to explode, leading Drake to wonder why his friends suddenly switched up on him. Among the biggest culprits of this was none other than DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar
Side by
DeRozan!
side one another on magazine covers, the two became friends during his time at the Raptors, and there was still no bad blood as he made his way to the Spurs. In fact, Drake even sent him nothing but love, posting a heartfelt message after he was traded saying, "To my brother DeMar DeRozan, I want to say 10 million thank yous on behalf of your city." Considering how much love he got from him, it was no surprise that DeMar never forgot, even reflecting on it in 2021.
You went to Drake after you were traded. What did you guys talk about?
We just really sat there and, besides basketball, everything, just the reassurance of that was my partner. That was a friend. That was a friend of mine that was like, man, get away from everything. I know it's crazy. I couldn't even turn on TV that day. Phone was going crazy. I just went over there and we sat and talked for hours. I think more than anything, just him being there for me as a friend.
Right.
First and foremost, and no matter what, when it come to him, he'll forever have a friend in me and loyalty out of me because, he cared.
Yeah, he was there for you.
He was there for me when everything was just going crazy.
Right.
But to say that these comments aged poorly would be an understatement. And people wonder why Drake is upset. The guy gets in a video dancing around co-signing that he's a pedo. And it's like, dog, you know me. Why are you saying these things about me? Just like that post hinted, DeMar showed where he stood when he popped out at the infamous Ken and Friends pop-out show in Inglewood. Embracing his Compton roots, he stepped on stage during Not Like Us, making it loud and clear that his loyalty was with the West. And saying that Drake was unbothered by this would be putting it lightly. The next time he showed up courtside, the tension was obvious. The two got right up in each other's faces.
The effort, the energy.
Fox immediately turned and said that the ball was tipped. There was still about 1.3 left on the clock, but ooh.
Meanwhile, Drake then hopped on the commentary booth and labeled him a goof.
Speaking of national treasure.
Yes, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question. Unfortunately, we're playing this goof tonight, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
But in reality, this definitely did more damage to Drake than it did to his nemesis, as it got him literally banned from the Raptors' broadcast team. As for DeMar, he was unfazed.
Tonight's broadcast, Drake said, if you ever put up the DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. What's your reaction to that?
Well, he gonna have a long way to climb to take it down, so tell him good luck.
But the West Coast wasn't, with Drake warned by WAC 100 to step back as opposed to getting embroiled in Cali business.
He better chill out. I'm telling you that. He better kick back. Leave that one alone. I mean, shit, he mad because he was playing the song. I think, didn't DeRozan kind of make a comment like... It was in the video. Yeah, what's wrong with that? He from Compton. He a Crip. What are you talking about? So that's he's from Compton. But DeRozan was his boy, too. And he's from Compton.
It's unrealistic for people to think that Drake shouldn't be bothered by, I mean, DeMar DeRozan being in, like, videos like Not Like Us and stuff. But, hey, man, I don't know, bro. That's unrealistic. Like, you getting called a you know what I'm saying, a kid diddler in those songs. Anybody would be upset.
Elsewhere, Stephen A had some words for Drake, insisting that he was ultimately taking it personally and that it was a bad look.
Drake is looking weaker and weaker every day. I said the other day, I understand how he can be a bit sensitive when he's got to take his kids out of school. The mother of his kid, along with his child, has to move out of Toronto because of the treatment they were receiving in light of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us song blowing up the spot. I got it. But I also felt like if somebody gets the better of you in the studio, you either stand down and say they got me, or you come back with something stronger. When you're as great as Drake is, why can't you do that? But this DeMar DeRozan thing took it a bit too far. DeMar, Russell Westbrook, and those guys, they're from that area. They're from the same spot as Kendrick Lamar. When they're listening to the song, they like the song or whatever, you on stage at Wisconsin dancing the way that they were. Drake was salty.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald.
About that. What the hell's wrong with you?
But if this betrayal from DeMar was one thing, LeBron jumping ship was something else entirely. A duo that has been locked in since the so far gone
man, oh man.
days when they first were pictured together. Drake and LeBron's were friends to the extent that King James even got him to invest in Italian soccer team AC Milan alongside him. And during live performances, Drake has reflected on what LeBron's approval meant to him.
For the gentleman that walked me to stage tonight, he goes by the name of LeBron James. And in 2009, when nobody believed in anything I had going on, that same guy showed up to a release party for a mixtape that was called So Far Gone. I don't know if you ever heard of that mixtape. He came all the way to Toronto, Canada to support me when I was trying to figure out how I could live my dreams.
On top of that, he's been more than just a friend, even stepping into an advisor role and acting like a big brother during Drake's beef with Pusha T.
I wanted to do other things. I didn't want to further your reputation or your career by rapping back at you and having this exchange. And that was it for me.
Drake takes you and like, am I letting you down?
Yeah, what'd I tell you?
What did you say to him?
You said that I can never let you down.
And this wasn't just some surface level friendship. Their families were tight too. Drake was even spotted courtside, getting into it with refs at Bronny's high school playoff games like a proud uncle. But once the beef took off, things went downhill fast, and Drake was probably questioning every second he spent getting LeBron's college jersey inked on his arm. Initially, Bron made it clear that he was neutral.
College jersey. This nigga just said college jersey, bro. Oh my god. LeBron, King James never went to college.
It was just something for the culture to savor. Nothing like two heavyweights doing what they do best. But after LeBron showed up at the pop-out, all bets were off. Not long after, DMs started leaking, revealing just how hurt Drake really.
I mean, I don't know no details, fam. I'm just showing you outside perception. I think there's a better ways to go about it, in my opinion. Me and Universal was like Nike was funding LeBron cheating on his wife, not Adidas or Reebok. Nike, the company, even with this and started. Everybody before me that tried, the label was too eccentric, so they wrote them off as crazy, and they never paid their for their sins and mistakes. I'm going to change that and make the building a safer place for every artist moving forward. Your shit is personal and involves violence, and I just think the way you're doing it makes you look crazy. That's my opinion. You don't need to do listen. I just think if
he was, and even throwing around hints that LeBron had been stepping out on his wife. From there, Drake unfollowed him on IG in October of 2024, just days after LeBron was seen rapping Kendrick's Man at the Garden on his 40th birthday. And unfortunately for Drake, he was about to get almost universally clowned, with commentators seeing Drake's decision to air his business with LeBron as a sign that he hasn't come far enough from the sensitive rapper who was mocked upon his entry to the game.
This is what I'm saying, and I think for the average person, it's got to be fairly confusing, because why is Drake going at LeBron?
Because LeBron danced to Like Us and was rapping Man in the Garden from the GNX album on social media.
I understand why Drake would be annoyed after the years of friendship that LeBron would be so publicly supporting Kendrick's music. I get how that would make you feel away.
And Drake has LeBron tattooed on his body.
In hindsight, this was maybe a little harsh, particularly when you consider that it must have felt like a genuine knife in the heart to see someone who used to be so close to you turn their back when things went wrong. The result of this ill feeling emerged in the form of January 2025's Fighting Irish freestyle, with Drake reflecting on how it felt for it to go down like that with James.
The world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know the shit is personal to us and it wasn't just business.
But what was probably meant to make a real statement and earn some sympathy over his fallout with LeBron ended up backfiring. Instead, it just gave people more ammo to clown him, including the Breakfast Club.
It sound like a love letter, like, yo, what happened? You cheated, like, you know what I'm saying? It sound like they was lovers, like, this is too much.
It do sound like Drake broke up with all his NBA booze in his head. In his head, DeMar DeRozan, Bron.
You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician, like, yo, why? What's going on with you?
I like when Drake raps, but why are you sitting around writing the heartbreak records?
But that's what he should do.
Because these guys
in a dark, dim room.
But that's what he should do. That's what we said. We instead of going to Instagram and IG and social media, he should be putting it in his music. I would have loved to hear.
It's weird because it's like, why do you? That's another grown ass man, dog. Grown, like. Y'all are the same age, both 40.
The album off of it, but
what are you doing?
The
here,
heartbreak
brother?
records because you got your ass kicked in a rap battle and everybody and their mama
R&B.
agrees with you.
Even though Drake never outright said the bar was about LeBron, fans pretty much connected the dots, especially after Chubbs started liking IG posts hinting it was aimed at the king. Likewise, unofficial OVO mascot Maul said that Drake attempted to rectify their relationship, only to be told that the bridge was burned.
I believe that, LeBron has probably reached out through some avenues or, directly, however he can, to probably have a conversation with Drake. And I think this is probably Drake's way of saying, like, fam, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't try to hit my line. Like, this is what it is. This is where I'm at. Like, y'all knew what it was when, we was at at Mike Rubin's party. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all knew the energy was different. I didn't speak to nobody. You know what I mean? Like, so I think this is his way of kind of like just standing down on that, like, yo, listen, this is what it is. Like, it ain't no beef, but we never gonna be as chummy and as cool as we were. Like, you pick that side, stay over there.
Meanwhile, the shade didn't end there, as Drizzy switched up his lyrics from Non-Stop during his Australia tour, spitting how I go from 6 to 23 but not LeBron.
I go from 6 to 23, but not LeBron, man. Not the trap.
And ever since, Drake has been having a little too much fun betting against LeBron, even thanking Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves after cashing in on one of their wins. Like it or not, Drake is embedded into the fabric of the modern NBA, soundtracking its games for many of his players before they walk out and acting as a global face for the sport. But as you can see, it hasn't always been a good thing for him, with his notoriously temperamental ways getting him clowned by fans, while other players have jumped ship when times got rough. Still, even with everything that's happened, you can bet that just like Spike Lee, Drake will be courtside to root for the Raptors and any other team he pleases until he's got gray hair. So we better get used to it.
Hey, man,